I'm hitting record.
Yes, perfect.
Thank you. As well as I'm going to share my screen with everybody so you can see the Padlet. And Sabina, will you drop the Padlet link to the chat? Is everyone seeing the Padlet now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can drop it again. Yep.
Fantastic. And Ben's going to room 5, but I know it's not because you don't love me. You're just going to go check out another space. Okay, so there's the Padlet link. If folks will log into that Padlet, click on that Padlet, it should open up for you, which you're also seeing through the Zoom share, which will probably go away once you go into that Padlet. And I see that everyone's doing the first task, which is to introduce their name themselves by putting their name and their role. And I love how folks are doing the subject heading in there and putting their name and then the information underneath it. It's important as we move into our other questions. So when we click on add that little plus symbol under a question, give your topic a heading and then put your thought or your comment in the basic text so if not, the bold gets very long. Okay, thank you for everyone for introducing themselves into the far left-hand column. We're going to work through these one at a time, and I'm going to ask for your contribution as well as comments to others if you're interested in that. And so what we're talking about here is whether these use cases are valid and whether you think these use cases will help us get to the impact we're hoping to have. So the first question is, how will we know if Experience You is successful? That's the very first question. And so if you just click on that little plus symbol, and you can open up your mic and speak as well. So you have multiple options for engaging. We can take notes. Sabina's gonna also try to capture if you don't want to write for yourselves, but I think all of you have started engaging with the Padlet. And so if you just click the plus sign, I'm going to do that here to demonstrate, and you just give it a subject heading, and then down here you write your thoughts. How will we know if Experience You is successful? Any thoughts, friends? There we go. Adoption, the first one, and we know it's successful if there's adoption. And then I'll also point out that Alan said, you know, you can give them little hearts and you can give them reactions as well. Employers are using it. It goes to scale. Just giving you a minute here to do your typing. Just in case someone new came in, I'm going to put that in the chat. Bias in hiring practices, very good. Just give it one more minute or so. And don't feel like you can't go back to the other questions as we continue to move forward. So if you think of something as we move on, feel free to go back and add to it. Positively disrupts LER ecosystem. That's fantastic. People share their LERs on LinkedIn. Okay. So the next question, I'm going to move on to the next question. How can we validate the use case design with the individual's Experience You is intended for? How can we validate the use case design? So the use case design, you kind of heard what, as Phil was laying out the technological pieces, and the individual's Experience You is intended for are the 3 personas. Now that doesn't, I've given them a name, but it's a broad category of individuals, right? So right now we have someone who is employed but seeking to move to have some advancement and some mobility in their job role. We have someone who's unemployed but has years of experience, and then we have a transitioning military member. And so those are our 3 general. We've given them names and some life stories to help make them more tangible. But how can we validate that those are the right individuals? What do you think we should be doing to validate that? No comments or people are typing? There we go. Okay, perform against performance-based evaluation tools. Okay. Skills and talent. What's really interesting, I think, so if we look at this, oh, actually, these last two right here, the incumbent worker benefit, and for those who learn skill sets on the job, we're getting down to the human now, right? We're getting down to how do we validate that human as part of that process. And if anyone's stuck with any of the technology, just release your microphone and let us know, or put something in the chat. We've got a team here, and both Sabina and Joe are here to help facilitate your efforts. Welcome, Joe. I'm getting down to the people piece. I love that. Thank you. Okay, so accuracy and trust. Yes, methodology for assessing accuracy, right? So once the technology does its thing, we somehow need to be able to validate the rest of it. I have not done a good job of telling everybody on the far right-hand side, there's actually a column called parking lot for additional questions and things that come to mind for you. Feel free to use that column for things that you have a thought, but it's not appropriate to capture into one of the existing columns. I should have mentioned that. All right, so the next column of questions is how will the plan project align to and meet the needs of the use cases? How do you think, are the individuals we've identified in the use cases aligned to and matching with the project we have planned? I'm giving some think time. I'm doing my teacher wait time here. Is there something we need to be thinking about? Something we need to target to make sure we can elevate the use cases as voices in the process? Are we missing something that would be important to those individuals that we make sure we're able to capture from those individuals? Okay, I'm going to leave that one alone. And I'm seeing some comments about pilots and demonstrations. Oh, great. Thank you. Here they come. Okay, so for the last column, what will the end product be able to do for individuals? What should the end project be able to do for an individual? So this is the human side of it. There's a lot of technology that the teams are going to be addressing. And if we were to bring Deanna in the room, Deanna is a real person. If we were to bring Deanna, who's that transitioning military person, into the room of the demonstration project, what should she be able to showcase that she can now do as a result of all of the tech, the work that the tech teams have accomplished? So damn, we probably should have planned for some music.
We can leave that.
Okay, so now, just for sake of time, and you can go back and add to any one of these columns. I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to read the other comments and comment on them. If there's any thoughts that you have about what someone else has written, like I see here that someone wrote, I agree and love that, and you can put in a little heart or some other emoticon if you want. But to build this out. So what are we going to do with this information? It is going to inform the white paper that's been released and the link that was provided to all of you on that white paper. It's also going to serve as a springboard when we start working with the teams to say, here's some example personas and some things that our community says you need to plan for as you begin getting into the depths of the technology. Our goal is a human goal, but we're capitalizing on the technological tools to get there. Oh, Bill needs the Padlet link.
Yep. Yeah, I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
Great. I'd love someone to come off mute and talk a little bit about some of the themes they might be seeing through these prompts. And I won't hesitate to call on someone. Giselle's laughing because she knows me well enough. No volunteers? Chet did. Go for it, Chet.
No, essentially, people are speaking to that there are skills and experiences that people have that they are not aware of, or that they can't articulate for themselves how they relate to good career opportunities that are out there. So this helps illuminate what are latent skills that people can use in related occupations. And I'm assuming this is going to have a regional, I'm just now learning about this. So my mind in working for a community college is, okay, so how do we map to the employer side if we're mapping to the individuals that live in an area?
Which is a great outcome, right? So just to contextualize the work we're doing in this project, it's the MVP that the technology can take the unstructured information about Naomi, what they find out there on the web about me, right? When they go through and they find that I'm a graduate of the University of South Florida with my doctorate, and I went to the University of Florida with my bachelor's, and I have a digital micro credential, a badge facilitator micro credential from the lab, and I have all of these other credentials that are out there. That's unstructured, it's not framed and formatted into anything. And be able to pull that information together about me, even though I'm not enrolled, Chet, in a particular program or a course right now, and to report that out. Now, I have different credentials, experiences, where I've worked, what I've done. Then I'll go back to Deanna or Antoine, who's been doing electrical engineering, and we can't get enough electrical engineers in the space, but he doesn't have a degree. So no one's looking at him because he doesn't have that bachelor's degree, right? If he can document those skills somehow, pulling from that unstructured data into a structured format, and then validating that information adequately represents Antoine or Naomi or Deanna, right? And so, Chet, to your point, the mapping to that workforce, the elevation of those skills, the validation of those skills is important work. Just to manage expectations, this MVP, I don't know that we're going to get there, right? I think it's a phased ongoing process that we're going to have to roll out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the work. I'm trying to think next steps, but I agree, because then it's like, an education institution, the question they ask themselves is, where are the common gaps that we can help fill when you
Right.
know that about the population that you serve? So it's a great, I'm enjoying this conversation.
Annabella, anything to add?
I'm really enjoying this conversation. I'm an immigrant myself and I had a few problems, validating my past academic and professional experience. Today, I offer a digital credentialing platform. So I'm really excited. People keep asking me every day, how can I validate my past experience? And I'm always don't have the solution for them. People that naturally just come to me and talk. And now seeing this, I mean, it seems like super, super exciting. So I'm just very happy to engage.
I mean, there's really a lot when you start bringing up the credentialing platforms, it really becomes very interesting then, because if we're taking that unstructured information about Annabella, and she may have said, I've made my credential public, but hasn't necessarily shared it in LinkedIn so that it's,
Yeah.
are the
Aware.
tools going to be able to find that information about Annabella,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And we're going to have to think through that. And